Neo Buggy, I started it in 2003 actually. I was working on a gossip page in 2002 for a couple of months and thought I should branch out a little bit bigger, and I just started. I was 16 at the time. Basically, Neo Buggy, the name comes from the Matrix movies. I took Neo, the lead character, and then I took, Buggy obviously. It was started off as a hobby, it's turned into a small business. And now we have a race which has been running for 10 years. Towards the end of 2004, I attended the Worlds in Sweden in Frölund, and I thought, God, all these top drivers, they're awesome. It would be so cool to do like a race where they're all sort of invited. And I toyed with the idea of, having like a Neo Buggy race, and then became the Neo Invitation originally. And I thought it would be really cool. I found a co-organizer. We did the first race in Belgium, and actually had a money prize. Started off a little bit trickily, but I think the idea was just, it'd be a fun thing to do, and God knows I didn't know it was going to turn into this, a 10-year, decade-long affair. But thankfully I did, meet the DXR guys and Lewis, so it's been a work-love affair ever since then.
What is DXR? It stands for Dirt Cross Racing, and we named it after racing in America and deciding that we should build a proper track, shall we say, with some proper jumps in some dirt. So it's supposed to be rallycross, but with buggies, basically. It started with me, Wes and Cameron 10 years ago, and then we've just added to the team each year. There's about 11 of us now that build the track and run the meeting and do all the stuff that you see.
We switched to DXR after the first year in Belgium. It was a bit of a bedlam in Belgium type affair in 2005. Basically, Adam Lewis put me in contact with three guys called, Lewis, Wes and Cameron back then. Those were the core group. And they said, Adam Lewis said, yeah, these guys will build you an awesome track, put on a race. They'd already put on the Proline Indoor Dirt Challenge. I contacted them and said, look, can we do something maybe? And, ever since then, they've been building amazing tracks.
How did I first meet Phil? Well, met him on his forum. He had his little Pro Boards free forum when he was at boarding school. Chatted to him quite a lot on there. Actually met him in person at the Euros in Reims in 2005. Had a good chat. He said about a race he was doing. I couldn't attend that one at the time. It didn't work out for me with the calendar. But in 2006 we did a really, really good event here with the DXR guys, which was the Proline event, and I suggested to Phil that they would, potentially, I spoke to them first and said, would you put on the Neo race for Phil? And they didn't really know each other. I got them all talking. The first event was in 2006, which was epic. It's one of the best tracks, I think, for Big Air. It was absolutely insane. Good characters came over, and the race was great. So that was the first one. It's gone from strength to strength.
How did I meet Phil? Someone said, Phil wants to speak to you about doing a race. And then I said, well, here's my email address. And then he emailed me. And then we met up in a pub and said, can we do it? And we said, yes. And you said, we'll do it. So we did.
It's jumped around a little bit over the years. The first one was actually back in November 2005. 2006 we moved to December time slot. Obviously the DXR guys had already staged the Proline Invitational that Easter. 2007 we didn't actually even hold a race. It was 2008 where we moved to the typical Easter time slot with the DXR guys. And ever since then it's been Easter, apart from 2013 where things changed slightly.
That was there's two stories. Either it was because we wanted it in nice weather, or because I had a daughter and I would have got shot if we'd have done it in Easter. So make up your own minds on that.
We've had a few different classes over the years at Neo. 2006 started out with Truggy. We only did that for 1 year. I don't think Truggy has ever actually really taken off in Europe. It's still going in North America quite strongly, but we've more in recent years actually moved to E-Buggy. Had the first one in 2009, and then we dropped the class in 2010 just to allow a few more nitro races to have a go. And brought the class back, and there's definitely a market for it, and it seems very, very popular. We have over 60 entries so far at Neo X this year. Mr. Neo, Jared Tebow, he has, up to 2014 that was, every time he's turned up he's come and TQ'd and won. However, that changed 2014. Ty Testament era began, he TQ'd both classes, just as he has done at Neo X so far. And Ty Testament went on to win. He's obviously dominated 2014. Took the World Championship win in Messina and Sicily later that year. But everyone has their era. Back in 2006, 2008, we obviously had Adam Drake. He was the only one who was winning here. yeah, back with the low C back then. And he was the mileage king. Went back to the T-Boat era. We had one year where Yannick Agon actually took victory, which was a fantastic final. One of my favourite moments, actually, that final, because finals aren't always the most exciting here at Neo, sadly. They tend to check out a little bit, but yeah, it's good memories from that.
I mean, they're all stressful, but they're getting easier because everyone, like I say, with a bigger team, everyone knows what they're doing. When we had heavy rain, we had the track flood. We've had power cuts, which we've now sorted. But we've proofed everything now, so if something does happen, we've got a backup system.
So unforeseen events, they're not welcome, but you know, we put so many programs and systems in place to make sure we have the best people to run the show, and if something bad happens, then you know, we try and act as quickly as possible, so not to delay the timetable. And also the races, you know, I look at the races, they're my customers, and so we've got to put on as good a show as we can. And like I think my colleagues have said, the main thing of the Neo race is really to continue improving it year on year, and we'll keep doing it as long as we feel that that's the case. You know, the track, a lot of people said last year it was the best track ever, and this year we're hearing a bit of the same thing. It's holding up really well. We're not really doing the three-dimensional jumps anymore. You know, you have to reinvent yourself sometimes, but I think that the boys have always done an awesome job, and it's so three-dimensional. You know, raised sections, staircases back, you know, some iconic sections, and it's just a joy to watch cars go around.
We started the first 8 years with having really big jumps, because that was sort of our theme. And then just from year to year, finding out what jumps works and what jumps didn't work and changing them, and then looking on the internet at other people's tracks and going, oh, that's a nice section and we can use that and whatever. Trial and error, really.
Try and make it as flowy as possible. Nothing too insane nowadays. We try to go pretty average so people can do it. Very US style. Nice jumps, flowing from one to the next. Doubles, triples, trying some new stuff. Obviously the step downs were new for last year, and this year we put them in again because they were good. Put a Joey style kicker at the end of the straight, which works really well. We like it. Obviously he's the main man, Joey. So Joey the Dirt. I love motocross, love supercross, so always watching those and trying to find stuff from them that we can use. Obviously there's a bit of a difference between supercross and RC racing. You know, you haven't got the weight distribution that you can use in supercross, so yeah, some of the things like whoops are pretty difficult to get right in time. But yeah, anywhere really that they're racing on dirt, bikes, anything basically, that's where we try and find some inspiration. It's very limited, the layout, because of where race control's always going to be, where the rostrum's always going to be. We tend to have the same kind of features at the end of the straight and around the first few bends, because you just can't get away from it. There's no way of moving into different territory to get away from that. You could put a hairpin at the end of the straight, but we all know what they do in finals and such like, so yeah, it's quite difficult. It'd be so nice to have a unlimited span that you could do, but we can't. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of people you've got to please, and there's always somebody that's gonna not like the track, and that they're only too happy to tell you that they don't like the track, or they find this too difficult or that too difficult, and you're always under pressure, especially now that we've been running so long, and we have to try and get things different every year and get them right every year. It is really difficult. venue is so ideal. We you know, the dirt, it's very clayey, so it's ideal for racing RC cars on, and you can mould it into pretty much any shape you like, and it is really special dirt. It's brilliant. It's just ideal.
I mean, it started off that me and Wes and Cam used to do everything. Just the three of us used to be left here to clear up the track at the end of the night, and then the guys have joined the team and they've all sort of taken on a role. Andy Conroy's a really good chap. He basically looks after all the crap that people come, rather than coming to me now, they go to him and he sorts out the power and the bins and the things, and the jock looks after the track, and you know, different guys have now sort of taken on different roles for bits and bobs. Every time we do it, by day 2 we're all sat here going, we're never doing it again. It's horrible, we don't like it. By the end, if you have a good run, because we're racing, if you have a good run, you're like, oh, we'll do it again next year. If you have a bad run, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Today it's all good. Tomorrow morning we'll all be fed up again and we won't want to do it. I mean, one of the big issues is with the track, we have to take the track down Monday night, so as soon as the race finishes we have to knock it down and get it level for Tuesday morning. So that's like quite a big effort to get all that taken down and away and packed up and clear for the college to start colleging on Tuesday. But once that's done and everything's back at my works and they're packed away, then probably a week later, once I've caught my sleep up, I'm like, oh, well, what should we do next year then? So yeah, it goes from never doing it again to let's do it again. What we're going to do, what we're going to do, or not what we're going to do, basically.
It's pretty much a family, to be honest with you. We all get on really well. We don't, you know, we get some bickering and we get a bit of banter between the guys, you know, racing and lap times and such like. But off track, we're all buddies. We all enjoy hanging out, and you know, just racing's kind of a byproduct of meeting. We met each other at racing, but you know, we get on so well and we click and we gel so well, and obviously Lewis keeps us all together anyway. Yeah, it's really good. It's nice working on something like this and having a laugh. That's all we do it for, basically. It's just fun at the end of the day. Just a big shout out to the DXR crew. Then we couldn't do this with me and Lewis couldn't do this without those guys. You know, they're superb, and at the end of the day, all they do it for is they get a hoodie. They get a hoodie and a t-shirt out of it. So you know, they're brilliant. So all power to them.
Each year's got better. So it's, you know, it's probably the year that it doesn't get better is probably the year we'll say let's not do it again. I think, because you know, we put things in place to make it better.
I actually met my long-term friend and photographer Arno. He came to this event back in 2006 just as a freelancer, and I met him and been working with him ever since. Live RC, the first year they came was 2011. Broadcast the event live for the first time to an international audience, and since then we've just gone up and up and up. This year we're back with RC Racing TV. They're broadcasting on YouTube, free to air, which is awesome. I said a few times that I wasn't going to do another one, but you know, here we are 10 years later, and I'm still doing pieces to camera. But I don't know, we'll see. As I said, as long as we both, you know, me and my co-organisers, Lewis, Wes, and everyone, we feel that we're building on the previous event, improving it, making it more efficient, more fun even from the previous years. That's the main thing, and it doesn't tire or kill anyone, obviously. I think we build on year.